In this video, I want to talk about something that might sound a little strange coming from me. Being obsessed with your home and your home decor is not okay. What do I mean by that? I know I'm a home content creator and almost everything I talk about is related to your home, how it should look, how you should decorate it, and why you should care about both the big decisions and the small details. I talk about finishes, colors, furniture, clutter, knickknacks, and all the little things that affect how your home feels. But at the same time, I completely believe that your home is like anything else in life. If you become too obsessed with it, it's not healthy, and honestly, it can make you look stupid. This is my opinion, but let me explain. By the end of this video, it might become your opinion too. I had this friend, or I should probably say I had this friend, because I don't really want to hang out with those people anymore. I know that's not a nice thing to say, but let me explain. He renovated his apartment. It was a small 2-bedroom apartment and he renovated it nicely. It was clean, put together, and pleasant. It wasn't anything extremely unusual or over the top. He redid the kitchen, changed the flooring, and bought new furniture. Very normal renovation. And redecorating decisions. The color palette was mostly white and light colors, which did make the apartment feel brighter, airier, and more spacious. The apartment looked good, but he became obsessed with it. He was so obsessed that I felt like he wasn't even enjoying the apartment anymore. Whenever he talked about the renovation, buying furniture, or unboxing things, I understood that he was excited. Of course, it was his renovation and he was involved in the process. But at a certain point, caring about details becomes something else entirely. During the renovation, he proudly told me a story about the small line of sealant between the countertop and the wall. I mean, I'm an architect. I care about details. I understand, but sometimes something simply does not matter that much. This was a tiny line of material, less than half an inch. The installer was using white sealant and apparently he wanted it to be transparent. He told me that he completely flipped out. He started shouting, stopped the installer, and called the company that had sent him. And he was telling this story proudly as if it proved how much he cared about design. But while he was talking, all I could think was that being obsessed with these details can make you look ridiculous. Of course, you should care about your home, but you shouldn't care so much that it makes you behave badly, think irrationally, or treat people poorly. When we're designing a custom home, of course you pay close attention to details. That is literally part of my job. But in a small 2-bedroom apartment with a small kitchen in a medium neighborhood, is a half-inch line of white sealant really worth shouting at someone over? And then proudly telling everyone the story afterward as if it's proof of your taste? There was another story involving the furniture he bought. Most of the furniture was white and one of the fabric had small orange threads woven into it. At first he thought the company had sent him the wrong fabric. Once again, he completely flipped out. He complained to the company and tried to get refunds, compensation, and free items. But later he realized that there had been no mistake. That was simply how the fabric was designed. He just hadn't noticed it when he bought it. Even after realizing that, he kept talking about how disappointed he was and how he couldn't stop thinking about it. And these things didn't stop after the renovation was finished. I mean, whenever he had guests over and people sat on his couch, he wasn't enjoying their company anymore. Instead, he was washing them. He was worried about someone spilling food, dropping crumbs, or staining the wall upholstery. He wasn't able to enjoy his guests or enjoy his home because all he could think about was keeping the white couch perfectly white. I mean, in the summer, he even said he needed to leave the air conditioning on so that the couch, furniture, and upholstery would stay cool and wouldn't become warm. And I was just thinking, oh my god, I work in architecture, I create home decor content, I care deeply about design. But your home's supposed to be lived in. It's supposed to be enjoyed. When we choose materials and finishes, we often think about how they will age. We think about wear and tear. We consider what they will look like after years of use. Sometimes a material becomes even more beautiful as it ages. That is part of the decision. A home is not a canvas that you stand back and look at it. It's a place where you live. So every choice you make should consider both things. Yes, I want my home to be beautiful. Yes, I want it to feel stylish. But it also needs to function as a real home. It needs to survive real life. Watching him made me realize how many people are like this. Do you remember Monica from Friends and how obsessed she was with her fancy china? That is not okay. If you buy something but you're too afraid to use it, maybe you shouldn't buy it. If owning something is going to make you anxious, controlling, or constantly worried, then maybe that item is simply not for you. For example, if you buy a white couch and spend every day worrying about stains, dirt, spills, and whether it will remain spotless, then that couch probably doesn't belong in your life. You might love the appearance of white upholstery, but you also need to consider your actual lifestyle. Maybe a white couch makes sense for someone who knows they can replace it after 1 year. That's hypothetical, of course. Or maybe it makes sense because the upholstery is removable, washable, or stain resistant. Those are practical considerations. You should think about those things before buying the furniture instead of becoming neurotic around it afterward. It is not the person you want to become. A very typical example of this is the gray sofa. I have another video about why you shouldn't automatically choose gray simply because it's the easiest option. But at the same time, I personally choose a gray sofa partly because it's easier. I do not want to be obsessive or neurotic around my furniture. I don't want to become that person. I knew I was going to keep my couch and use it for a long time, so I thought realistically about maintaining it. I wanted something I could clean. I wanted something that would continue to look good with regular use. That is why I choose that color. There is a reason so many people buy gray sofas. Sometimes I think people who buy gray sofas may not be designers, or maybe design isn't their biggest priority, but they understand functionality. And honestly, good for them. They know what they want and they're going to actually use the couch. Compare it to someone who thinks they have superior taste because they choose an all-white color palette, but then becomes completely neurotic around their furniture and home. I'm sure you've also visited people like this. You've used one of their fancy glasses, expensive dishes, or delicate home accessories, and they immediately become tense. I mean, they're like, be careful, don't put that there, watch what you're doing. I don't want to be around people like that, and I definitely don't want to become one. If you cannot afford to damage something, replace it, clean it, maintain it, or emotionally handle normal wear and tear, maybe it doesn't belong in your home. Maybe it's outside your budget. Maybe it's outside your lifestyle. Maybe maintaining it requires more energy than you have. Whatever the reason is, owning it should not make you obsessive or anxious about your house. Your home is something you should live in, you should enjoy it, And honestly, I know I constantly talk about importance of creating a beautiful home. I talk about how your home should be your sanctuary and how much time and money you spend there. All of that is true, but it is still just a house. You should have more important things in your life than expensive furniture, dinnerware, upholstery, or decorative objects. So basically, all I'm saying is this. When you're choosing materials or buying anything for your home, think honestly about whether it fits your actual lifestyle. If owning it is going to make you obsessive, controlling, or constantly anxious, it's probably not the right choice for you. I mean, I make this whole video to say you should not spend your life protecting your home from being lived in. That's it for today's video. I've wanted to make this video for a long time and I'm glad I finally did it. I really want to hear your opinions about this and I'll see you in the next one.